Space, the boundary of human achievement, the new frontier.
It's just a cough.
Yeah, right. And the Earth is flat.
Treat your cough seriously with Robitussin CF Max. Nothing lasts longer and treats more symptoms for your cough, cold, and flu. Robitussin, because it's never just a cough.
In a few moments, you will have an experience which will seem completely real. It will be the result of your subconscious fears transformed to your conscious awareness. Warning, this tape must not be played by government personnel. It can be extremely harmful and result in severe trauma. You have 5 seconds to terminate this tape. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's good to see you. I must go. I know I must go.
Hold him. Now you listen to me, you hillbilly punk who thinks the world's still round. I'm here to tell you it's not. It's flat.
Lexi, tell us something interesting.
Okay, the Earth is flat, and a witch stole his pants.
Flat Earth expert Mark Sargent thinks the moon landing was a hoax.
Technically, the moon itself is a hoax.
Right, but betting with Sportsbet's new iPhone app?
I could do this standing on my head.
Thanks, Gravity. Sportsbet's new iPhone app. It's foolproof.
I know how we're different. Do you believe the Earth is flat?
I know it's flat. I walk on it.
Holy sh**.
Do you think the Earth is flat, Snoop? What do you
It's a flat world after all.
Smoke weed every day.
Und jetzt der Verkehr. Vorsicht, liebe Autofahrer, auf der A3 Oberhausen Richtung Arnheim ist die linke Spur aufgrund eines UFO-Absturzes gesperrt.
Broadcasting straight to you from a large spaceship currently at war with mainstream science. Meanwhile, the peanut gallery is, well, he's around, but he may deliver a quote later in the show. How about that? I distracted him so much that he actually forgot. My bad. I have the power of distraction. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Strange World, where the truth is often stranger than fiction. I'm your host, Mark Sargent, the creator of Flat Earth Clues, which propose that all of us are living inside a Truman Show enclosed structure thousands of miles wide. Just Google Flat Earth Clues. If you can't find it, well, you're not very good at the internet. Currently, this show is on Tuesday nights at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. And yes, Caroline, if it is not, what the hell day is it? May 2nd, 2023. It's the future. Then you are listening to a rerun. Quote of the day goes exactly like this. Did you know that the Artemis 2 test turned out to be the biggest rocket explosion in history? Yeah, we'll talk about it. My co-host, she's lovely, she's sassy, and she's one of the biggest flat earth rock stars ever. Karen B from the channel Karen B. Hey, Karen.
Indeed. What's up, Mark?
Well, it's another Tuesday, and we're covering all sorts of stuff. We got headlines, we got Lucky Unlucky, we got Clown Worlds. So yeah, I'm excited to get to it. But first, hey, Karen, being the current queen of flat earth, it must be hard to find flat earth friends. By the way, you know what I like about it? So is it warm, by the way, down in the Carolinas?
Well, it's not particularly. It's getting a little warmer. Why? Because I'm in a tank top.
I was about to say, because you're showing more ink today.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
it's all out there.
Your biological great grandfather, Aleister Crowley, would be proud. Being the current queen of flat earth, it must be hard to find flat earth friends, that and John Constantine. Do you know an easy way to find cool people like yourself and solid info, he's not real, about our stationary horizontal level plane?
Why, yes, that would be the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app.
Yeah, it's the perfect gift for friends, family, and complete strangers. Watch the featured video every day for 2 weeks and see what happens. It'll be the best $2.99 you've ever spent. That's a crappy snap. Don't forget, you can also find this. Guy's been mowing the lawn all day. Also find this program on BitChute and Brighteon, Rockfin, and Rumble. Oh, I'm going to talk about BitChute a little bit because we completed a milestone today with the Mark Sargent channel, but I'll let you know. YouTube is not the end of Flat Earth. It is just the beginning. Shout outs, obviously, to last week's special guest.
That's right.
And going to be the guest on episode 420, which is going to be a ways down, and 422.
Yeah.
So we're going to have him, and then we're going to have a week off, and then we're going to have him again.
Yep.
So hopefully he's up for it. Anyway, Stephen Carpenter of the Deftones, support the Flat Earth cause and get the coolest hoodies ever. Go to the strong.family. He was a great guest last week.
Yeah, he's lots of fun.
Yeah. Good guy. Good guy. It must be rough being a rock star. You know, although I will say he's one of the lucky ones because so many bands, he knows this. I mean, so many bands break up quickly or flame out or bad things happen. And the Deftones, they just kept the pace.
And it's the same dudes.
Yeah.
They went to high school together.
Yeah, it's awesome. So good for them.
Yep.
Good for them. Peanut says the rock star that eats Taco Bell on a regular basis. Yeah.
Listen.
Well, hey, I'm not. Hey, Taco Bell is Taco Bell. I mean, and plus, I think he said that he wanted to go to Del Taco. I don't think I've ever been to a Del Taco.
I mean, you can't judge because you were stuffing, Hardee's burgers in your bag.
I did. Oh no, we've all look. No, I'm not going to criticize his eating habits. I'm not. That was Peanut Gallery that they criticized. Anyway, let's do meetups real fast. So the meetups that are on my channel right now, there's going to be one in Alberta, Canada, May 7th. That promo is on my channel. There's going to be one in Florida, May 6th. That promo is on my channel. Los Angeles with Brian Stavely, that's May 13th. Promo also on my channel. And British Columbia in, I think, Nanu's Bay. That's going to be May 6th. But again, you can check that out on my channel. I had a guy email me, by the way, and say, hey, I saw your British Columbia thing. British Columbia is a big place. I don't know where this is. I'm going, dude, did you even watch the video? Because at 20 seconds in, it actually flashes it on the screen in giant text that it's, the exact location and the content, but he didn't. So I shouldn't pick, but I'm gonna. All right. Do you have any others besides those four? Oh, I'm sorry. And the Seattle one, Seattle Bellevue one, which is going to be in June with Ted and I.
Mm-hmm.
And did you have any others?
I got some others. There's Jam in the Plane, June 16th through the 18th in Colorado Springs. Also, I added some for Arizona. There's like a Flat Earther movie night one night that's also on the May 13th. And then the 21st, they're doing Salt River tubing in Arizona. And they're also doing a conspiracy book club. So I've got someone over there planning lots of stuff in Arizona if you're a Flat Earther and you're in the state of Arizona.
Very cool. I have some. So before we get to headlines, there was an email I wanted to read beforehand. Oh, by the way, Peanut says the twins turned 16 on Thursday. Happy birthday to the twins, which I would rattle off their names, but I don't know if he wants me to or he forgot. And I'm doing a shout out for Jacob and Joseph.
All right.
May they not go into detention and or jail anytime soon. No, I hear they're troublemakers. I hear they like start fires and steal cars and stuff. All right, so there was an email I got from somebody. I want to mention this real quick. I don't get a lot of people requesting shout outs because this guy's from Wales, out in the UK. Good morning, Mark. Wow, what a surprise to see you on Talk TV last night. It's the only channel in the UK where you watch or listen to all the anti-woke agenda they are pumping out on us. It was a shame they didn't give you more time on air or listen to your full answers, but never mind. At least you're getting the message out. There's so many thanks for that. P.S. If you could give me a quick shout out on Strange World, you would make this sad, alienated Flat Earthers year. Many thanks. Phil in Wales, UK. P.S. Hot sex, all caps. So I'm pretty sure I'm sure he means it. And yeah, so Talk TV, which is I think the British version of Newsmax, contacted me last minute, and I don't like doing interviews that are less than 15 minutes. And so they brought me on. It was like almost no introduction whatsoever, and they let me talk for a little while. And then it became sort of like a 4-on-1 deal. I mean, I could tell. I mean, I knew there were people in that organization that were closet flat earthers. That's how I got in there. But you could tell. I mean, I could hear the producers in my earpiece. And there was a point where they had to close this thing down fairly quickly. You know, not that I was giving them too much truth. It's like, well, it was really great and like Mark's opinion, but it's obvious that it's been established by science. Okay, good night, everybody. And then they sent me packing, and it was fine. But I mean, they didn't even put Flat Earth in the title of the show, and I can't use it because it's copyrighted. So it's like, so it gets lost. Things like that, I do those every once in a while. They get lost in the shuffles. So yeah, Talk TV. It's fun, I guess. Again, I didn't, they called me, so it's like great.
Plant those seeds.
Yep. So I'm sure I hit some people. Again, I hit this guy out in Wales, and so I'm sure there were people. And again, they did let me speak my piece for a while. And then they started pushing back, and they were doing the whole. I mean, I could tell the Ron Burgundy, the producers in their ear were shutting it down pretty quick. Okay, let's get to the headlines, shall we? We have quite a few. So the first one is from Microsoft Network, which is, if you remember from last week, we briefly talked about it, which was SpaceX and the Artemis 2, which is going to be a manned moonshot. This is Moon 2.0. They launched the rocket. They lost control within the first 2 minutes, and they ended up using the self-destruct thing. It was basically worthless after the first 2 minutes, which means it was a complete failure. And SpaceX was like, oh, we're going to try harder. This is just going to be a stepping stone for us, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. So the article is from Futurism. SpaceX is in big trouble with the FAA after Starship explosion. The fact that they keep calling it Starships bugs me so much. SpaceX's explosive orbital test flight of a Starship spacecraft, the most powerful rocket ever built, left a huge mark on its surroundings, scouring a massive crater in the ground and sending particulate matter flying for miles, like 6 miles, far beyond the expected. In fact, from what I heard, there was like a town not that far away that caught some of the concrete. Without any significant diversion measures in place, Starship's super heavy booster tore through the company's prepared concrete launch pad, kicking up heavy debris. And it caught the attention of the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, which has grounded Starship until it can conclude its mishap investigation, signs that SpaceX may have additional hurdles to overcome before it can try to get its Starship orbital again. I called this. I did. I didn't know how they were going to do it, but they did it, which was because remember, it's the whole part of the Great Reset, which is not exactly going to the timetable they wanted, which is you give out a whole bunch of doses of something which we can't talk about. And then you follow that up with either a military campaign in the European theater or the Asian or the Pacific theater or both, and see what happens. And meanwhile, the SpaceX should be shut down. But the military thing didn't happen, so Artemis 1 had to launch, and so it went to the moon and back with grainy shots, no stars, and some of the worst images ever, even though they were digital cameras, which you can manipulate all day long. And that was fine. But Artemis 2, there was no blast diverters on the pad. It's like, why would you even do that? I mean, most of the SpaceX employees you would have recruited from NASA. And again, we've had blast deflectors for 50 years. Ever since Apollo, and they never used them. So it seems so deliberate that you send this rocket up, it explodes almost immediately, and in the meantime, you destroy the pad so it can never be used again. And now the FAA steps in. It's like, well, it seems to be some trouble here in your engineering design. It's like, how is there a problem? How is this mistake? How did you even get past the design phase? So yeah, they have. So now what I said was, back in the day, I said Artemis 2 has to be delayed. It has to be stalled. Here we are. It is stalled. Even and what you did is you made it look like SpaceX is charging forward, so SpaceX can now throw everybody else under the bus. It's like, well, the FAA is grounding us. We're ready to go. It's kind of the what?
I just said right.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like if you asked your buddies at a bar to in advance to hold you back for a fight you were going to be in, right? So you square off with a guy, and you know how it goes with the bar, and then your guys come up behind. It's like, no, don't find him. It's like, oh, you struggle like you're going to fight this guy, but your buddies are holding your back. And it's like, oh, my buddies, my guys hadn't been there, I would have totally kicked that guy's ass. Yeah. That is not what would have happened in this case. So and in addition, so let's go to the next headline down. In addition, to make sure the FAA is getting involved, which is weird, happened just yesterday. The story from Axios Science, FAA sued after SpaceX Starship explosion. Environmental and cultural heritage groups filed a lawsuit Monday against the FAA, saying the FAA didn't perform a thorough enough environmental review of SpaceX's Starship program. This test sparked a brush fire on state park land, and the rocket was forced to self-destruct over the Gulf of Mexico. And the area surrounding the SpaceX facility at Boca Chica is a biologically diverse and essential habitat, blah, blah, blah. So they're piling on. So now it's like, no. Now the FAA is absolute. If there was any doubt the FAA is going to get involved, they're getting involved because they're being sued from the other side. Who knows if that lawsuit's even real? So the whole point is slow down Artemis, slow down the Artemis program. Nobody wants people to get on top of that rocket because it's fake. It's absolutely worthless.
Right.
There you go. You want to know how to stall a program? There's a master class in it right there. Beautiful. All right.
Well, they know how to kick that can down the road pretty good now.
They're
Good
do.
at it.
They do. It's good because again, the SpaceX employees look innocent. It's like, oh, we totally go if they let us. No, you wouldn't. You're not going anywhere.
It's so negligent though. Like really, it's obvious and negligent.
I mean, but remember what I said last week? I said the only thing that didn't happen was the rocket didn't blow up on the pad. And in hindsight, it couldn't blow up on the pad because it wouldn't be able to do that cool crater thing that they wanted so badly. They wanted the crater. There's no blast deflector at all. So they made sure those engines just dug, I don't know, how was it? 3 stories, 4 stories, a hole in the ground, all the way to the water table. Even though Apollo had blast deflectors everywhere, why wouldn't you use an Apollo? I don't know. Well, because you don't want to do it. That's why. Okay, next one down. Is this the Elon Musk one?
Yes.
Oh, God. I can't escape him. I can't. I want to escape him, and I can't. Peanut Gallery warned me about this. He said, you won't be able to escape him. This is from RT. Russia Today. Musk lawyer invokes deep fake defense. The billionaire entrepreneur has been accused of exaggerating features on Tesla's self-driving vehicles. Okay, let's clarify here. Just like AI is worthless, self-driving cars are pretty much worthless. The only time, and Mercedes got it right. The Mercedes states straight up in their manual, the only time you can use the self-driving feature is if you're in the middle of stop and go traffic where the cars are all around you. So the sensors are going off constantly and you're going slow enough and you don't have to worry about the stripes on the road. The biggest problem with self-driving cars is we have inconsistent roads. We have roads that are beautifully painted blacktop and all sorts of reflectors everywhere. When we have roads that break off into dirt roads, we have all sorts of, and people think they can turn the auto driving anywhere. You cannot. And so Elon is like, oh yeah, Tesla's got a self-driving feature. It's great. And people crashed their cars and died in fires and it was awful. So now he's going to be brought into court. And sorry, taking a long way around to get here. And the lawyers are already saying, well, some of the stuff where you saw him on video and audio talking about it was probably deep fake. It wasn't him. What? Really? Really? Because deepfake can't be detected? Fine. All it's going to do is slow down the process. Now you're going to have to bring a video expert in court, and they're going to have to analyze the video of him saying that. And they'll say, oh, yeah. Yeah. Peanut says, AI is killing humans. Thank you, Peanut. Very helpful. All right. Next one down from Fox
I mean,
News.
they could deep fake stuff and then let it ride as true, and then when it comes back on them, be like, "Oh, that was deep faked. I didn't say that." You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, if they were smart, the defense would actually create their own deep fakes and then use that as an example. It's like, well, this one was a deep fake. But again, video analysis. Anyone that's good at video editing would be able to, you can tear apart. Deep fakes aren't that good. They're good for the general public, but not if you put them under a microscope.
You'd have to go like frame by frame and really check it.
Yeah. This one's from Fox News. The NRA sues Democrat governor over Washington State's new blatantly unconstitutional gun ban. They're trying to do not a gun grab, but they're basically trying to shut down assault weapon sales in Washington. All new sales. So anyone that's got them, well, you got them. Your grandfather. But any new ones, they're trying to stop them from going to the stores. And the NRA is all over it. So that's all I just wanted to say there. So I want to point that out because there's a big difference between a gun grab and just stopping new sales. And honestly, sales are going to drop anyway because Gen Z and quite a few millennials, they're just not buying the guns as much as the older generations were. Partially because of money and partially because they've been losing their sex appeal, for lack of a better term. Next, it is assault weapons, dead sexy. All right, let's go to next one down, and then we'll go to lucky, unlucky. We got time. Yeah, one of my favorite. This could almost be a clown world, but it actually goes into the Captain Obvious thing. This is from RT. The United States. You know what? Let me redo this headline. The Russian defense minister says, "Hey, you know what? The U.S. blackmails nations into confronting Moscow and Beijing." What? The U.S. is trying to start a war somewhere in either Russia or Taiwan, and so we're blackmailing other countries into doing our bidding? No,
I don't believe it.
That is slander. That is slander. That is libel, and I won't stand for it.
What? I never.
Well, I will say this. He calls it as he sees it. Just like, yeah. Washington is resorting to various forms of coercion as it pushes to create regional alliances aimed against its geopolitical rivals. Thank God you use that word, by the way. You know, if I have to preach that to people all the time. It's like, look, Russia's not our enemy. They're our rival. There's a big difference, including Moscow and Beijing. Yeah. Speaking to his counterparts. Yeah, you're not going to see that in the Western media. All right, get to lucky, unlucky, shall we? First one down, and it's a Twitter link to a video, but I'll translate for you, which was the Jamie Foxx situation. You know, there hasn't been an A-lister that has died from really anything in the last 3 years, especially not suddenly or unexpectedly. And Jamie Foxx, turns out he was way worse off than we thought. He had a full-blown stroke and had to be revived. He was dead. They had to revive him.
Crazy.
Yeah. And so now the question is, and there again, everyone in Hollywood's downplaying this, is like, you know, because, you know, they want him to keep making movies. You know, he's only what, 54, 53? How old is he, Peanut? How old is Jamie Foxx? 55?
Yeah, he was 50 something, early 50s, something.
Yeah. So they're trying to finish up his current movie with stuntmen and probably deep fakes. Who knows? And yeah, not good. But he's still hanging in there. So he's considered lucky. And Jamie Foxx is 55. My age. All right, next one down is from Fox News. Jerry Springer, dead at 79. You guys probably heard about this one. Jerry Springer was a journalist, actor, and talk show host. Let's call it what it is, shall we, people? He was a talk show host. He made television horrible. He figured out the formula, which is bring people that hate each other into the studio, hype up the drama, make sure you got lots of bodyguards in the wings, and let them go at each other. And the formula was so well done. Oh, he was a mayor too, says Peanut Gallery. Jerry Springer had it so well done that I remember South Park did a parody of it not even a parody. They turned it in their movie Basketball into a drinking game, which was the drinking game is anytime somebody throws a punch in a Jerry Springer show, you drink. And they almost couldn't hold on to the bar by the end because they just kept showing these clips where people were just lunging at each other. The Jerry Springer show. That was it. I mean, it wasn't even a show. I'm sure there were shows that didn't even air because nobody threw a punch. So he was the mayor of Chicago. I didn't know that. Did you know he was mayor of Chicago?
I knew he was a mayor of a pretty big city before he was a talk show host. Yeah.
Wow. Boy, he had a diverse life. Politician to, well, you know what? He knew people. What? Not Chicago, Cincinnati. Yeah, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Chicago. That sounds right. I thought it was Ohio, somewhere in Ohio.
I'd say Chicago, you'd probably be more corrupt. Okay, next one down. The Rachel's Ginger Beer founder, Rachel Marshall, dies at 42. Something came on pretty quick. Hepatic cirrhosis brought on by chronic ethanolism. Yeah. Anyway, she was 42. So there you go.
What the hell does that mean?
I don't know. It was a regional one though. So guys, by the way, I appreciate that people send me lucky unlucky. If you want to send one that's regional in your area that you know is not going to gain national news, please send it to me. Love to see it. Ginger beer causes it. That's terrible, Peanut. Okay, next one down. Let's get a few more before the break. This one's from, where's this from? It's from your neck of the woods. TSA officers help save pilot's life at Richmond International Airport. Pilot who suffered a medical emergency at Richmond International Airport was reported saved to 2 TSA officers who came to his rescue. Let's see. Nigel and Trennard were reportedly in the middle of their duties when a pilot just had a heart attack right in front of him while he was walking to his plane.
Oh God.
One said to the other, "Hey, I think that guy's about to pass out." I looked over just as the pilot fell to the floor. And the first responders got there really, really quickly, and he is okay. I don't think he's going to be flying again, but then again, I said it about Damar Hamlin, who I'm actually wondering now. I don't throw out the word clone very much, but I'm almost wondering. It's like I don't know how they did it. I'm just trying to find out medically how you pull that off with Damar Hamlin. Anyway, next one down is, oh yeah, you know what? Let's end with this one before the break. This is from TMZ, some of the finest in American journalism, which is Kim Kardashian lookalike OnlyFans model dead at 34.
Good Lord.
I know, right? After reported plastic surgery. If you're listening to the audio on this, you might want to look this up. You want to know what some women will do to imitate one of the Kardashians? This is it. Whoa. Possibly after a plastic surgery procedure gone wrong. Maybe. Let's see. Was there anything else? They quickly arrived at the hospital, told her health went into a steep decline after suffering a heart attack. Oh, wow. She had a heart attack during surgery. Yeah. Her family says the death's being investigated as a potential homicide. Of course, they're going after the doctors. Of course they are. Because remember, whatever you were doing last, that's what caused it. Doesn't matter if you're using underarm deodorant or playing in the dirt or driving or just sitting in your rocking chair. Obviously, the rocking chair kills people. So yeah.
And she has the biggest, grossest fake tits I've ever seen, dude.
Well, look at it. When you're scrolling down like that third pair of shots where she's in a fake airplane, look at the waist on her. That waist is like, what is it, 21 inches? Maybe.
No, it could just look a lot smaller than it is.
You think they're photoshopping the hell out of it?
No, because her fake tits are so big.
Oh,
it makes your waist look smaller.
For those unaware, the model, who also went by Ashton G, didn't just garner a ton of followers on OnlyFans, but also had over 600 grand on Instagram at the time of her death, getting a ton of attention for bearing a striking resemblance to Kim K. Yeah, well, bearing something. I don't know the resemblances necessarily. And if you guys don't know what OnlyFans is, it's well, how would you define it, Karen? It's personal
It's like amateur
porn.
Pay for porn.
Yeah, but it's you. So it's not like you're not using a studio or anything like that.
I don't know. Who knows what people do on there? I mean,
yeah.
Maybe some people do use a studio. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know what people do.
Yeah. So anyway, there you go. Kim Kardashian lookalike model.
She had a lot of work done.
Oh,
she could be like, seriously, what if those things were leaking and it like poisoned her or something?
I could comment on it, but the only thing I could probably sum it up with this. You want to know how social media can turn ugly? This is it. Social media built that. What you just saw there built all of that.
Freakishly, like, bleh.
She modeled herself after Kardashian. Being a Kardashian lookalike, doing amateur porn, making a whole bunch of money. Kept going into the hospital, and then had a heart attack on the table. And now the doctors are going to be sued because the family's, well, it's obviously the doctor's fault. It's nothing else besides that. Can't be suddenly. All right, we're going to go to our first break. When we come back, we'll finish a Lucky Unlucky, get to some Clown Worlds. I think we got 3 or 4 of those. And then we will take your phone calls. So, Karen, that music.
Are you a blue dot? Those questioning where we live are not just here. They are everywhere. Of course, this info is hidden from you, but the app shows you that no matter where you go, you aren't alone. We are everywhere, and we are growing. Find your tribe today.
It's the music that Stefan hates.
Shout out to Karen B, Mark Sargent, David Weiss. I'll be checking out that video this weekend at the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app on YouTube. Or
Join me, Karen B, every moon day.
Every moon day!
9:30 a.m. Eastern on Rockfin, Twitch, and Facebook for an early light chit chat. Open phones, open topics. Always chill. I hope to see you there.
You always sound so upbeat when you do that one. back to Strange World, part 204. It's you, me, and the always wonderful Karen B. And you know what? That was Joe Jackson stepping out from his album
Night and Day.
Yep. I didn't even get a golf clap from Peanut on that one. He's like, you've been doing this for 8 years. You better know it by now. He is a hard-nosed producer, let me tell you. All right, where do we leave off? We left off on the pilot that almost died on the way to his plane, which is always encouraging. And we ended on the Kim Kardashian lookalike, which was funny. You know, one of our listeners, he goes, that isn't even that attractive. And I said, yeah, but there's a lot of guys that fall for it. You know what I thought of when I saw her at one point? It's like she's doing a surgical version of the truck mud flap girl, the silhouette on the mud flaps of trucks.
Oh yeah.
You know, with the tiny waist and the huge boobs and the big ass. And it's like, okay, it's because we can do that for real now. Whatever. Okay, next one down.
Thanks, Barbie.
Yeah, Barbie. Even this goes even way beyond Barbie. That's like a. I better leave it while I'm ahead. Okay, next one down is from the Daily Mail. Record-breaking female powerlifter, 18, dies within 24 hours of developing a severe infection. Let's see what happened, shall we? She got sick with a severe infection. And what happened? Oh, hey, she succumbed to a sudden illness on the 24th of April, my birthday. It has been reported she died within 24 hours of the onset of the illness. We're not going to say what it was. Just not. Whatever. She looks pretty strong. Picture down there. Actually, she looks better than the Kardashian girl. I like the tat on her leg. That girl would hold up well in prison, I think. She'd beat the crap out of people. Seriously. Okay, next one down. Anyway, she's from Belgium. Next one down, bbc.com. Steve Shanks, London Marathon runner, dies on his way home from a race. So he's 45 years old, from Nottinghamshire, died suddenly while traveling home on Sunday. Cause of death not been shared. Shock and devastated. She added that his passing was, say it with me now, kids, sudden and out of the blue. Yep. I'm absolutely in shock and devastated, deeply saddened. Yep. So he completed the 26-mile distance in 2 hours and 53 minutes. That's no slouch. That's pretty good. Under 3 hours, ran the marathon. Probably just lucky he didn't die on the course. Okay, next one down. TMZ. Celtics exec Heather Walker dies after battle with brain cancer. Now, you're thinking, well, okay, she was 52, right? But what was interesting was, what was it? She, again, remember how one of the other side effects from something that we're not supposed to talk about, she was diagnosed with a rare and aggressive form of brain cancer called glioblastoma in 2021. What do you think happened in 2021? I don't know. It's a mystery. But whatever happened, made something happen in her body go really, really aggressive, and now she's gone. So, sad. Really sad because she was my age. Yep. All right, next one down. Fox News. Philadelphia teen. Okay, so remember, Karen, remember how rare we were talking, came up with a term some months ago, turbo cancer. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, well, that's not a thing. It's like turbo cancer, right? Philadelphia teen dies within 24 hours after getting cancer diagnosis. She was 16. Kyle, girl or guy? Guy. Kyle Limper of Philadelphia played football, wrestled, and ran track before his sudden death from cancer. Died from, here we go, a blood infection caused by leukemia within 24 hours of doctors discovering the cancer in the student athlete.
That's crazy.
I know we're just gonna gloss over it, but like it that's the thing that happens. It's like, what are you talking about? You can't die from leukemia in 24 hours. That doesn't happen. But again, they have to spread out all the symptoms. They have to spread out all the causes and try to make it, So one day after a basketball game, again, it's not like this kid was a couch potato. Kyle told his parents he was experiencing back pain. Teen was taken to the hospital to be checked out and was told how he felt in a few days. Yeah, he lasted 24 hours. That was it. He was done. Told me in a couple of days. That picture of him right down there? Yeah. Looks like possible big man on campus. Could have been. Stuff. Feel bad. His symptoms got worse. And then he was rushed to a different hospital. Okay. Next one down. Guardian.com. Zach Zonfrillo, Master Chef, Australia judge and chef, dies aged 46. What happened to him? He was Scottish Australian chef. Let's see here. Died on Sunday. Confirmed his death on Monday. Very, very sad. No cause of death was given. I bet you when they finally tell us, though, it'll be some sort of. Again, does he look? He's not your balloon chef. The guy looks pretty good.
Balloon chef? You
know what I mean? Chefs that are, I get, the chefs that really enjoy the food. It's like taste. You got to remember the part of the chef's creed. Remember, you taste everything. Well, there's some chefs that really get into that. It's like, no, I can eat half a serving of this and half a serving of that. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. On to Clown World, shall we? And then I got a couple emails I want to read. So, RT.com. Oh, God. U.S. lawmakers fear AI instigated nuclear attacks. A bipartisan bill in Congress calls for a ban on the use of artificial intelligence for launching warheads. And what's the picture, Karen? What's the thumbnail?
Like a Terminator.
It's a Terminator. Of course it is. Because Skynet's a real thing. So a group of 3 Democrats and 1 Republican introduced a bill that calls for banning AI from being used in a way that could lead to launching nuclear weapons. If enacted, the legislation would codify a certain Pentagon policy that requires a human to be in the loop on any launch decisions. I'm telling you right now, and our military friends will tell you, there will always be humans in that loop. It's never, ever, ever going to be an automated system. You don't want to know why? Because automated systems can be compromised. If you can hack into a system like the Whopper or Skynet or any of the others, you can tell it to do what you want. You always, always, always will have humans in the loop. Always, always. I can't say this enough. Always. But to quote their point, we want to make sure there's a human in the process of launching a nuclear weapon if at any point in time we need to launch a nuclear weapon.
Right.
So if we want to kill a lot of people, we want to make sure there's human beings behind that. Okay. Moving on. Next one down. This is from Newsmax. Okay. And Karen, you actually watched part of this interview. So you remember last week when Elon said, what did he say? What was the thing he was doing last week? Oh yeah, that the U.S. was going to default on its debt. Absolutely, positively, it was just a question of when, right? Because he's an expert on that, on everything that's finance. Well, this week, Elon Musk to Bill Maher, we are not in any danger of resource collapse. But here's the part that got me. The only reason I grabbed this article was the first paragraph. Ready? And I'm trying to hold my sanity while reading this. Arguably the greatest environmentally conscious innovator of our time, Elon Musk poured cold water on sustainable resources, liberal activism, and censorship in just one interview. Resources will be fine, Musk told HBO's Real Time with Bill Maher, in a wide-ranging interview. Of course it's wide-ranging. He has an opinion on everything. I know a lot about resources. The fact that you have to say I know a lot about resources mean you don't. We do want a sustainable energy economy as quickly as possible, but we're not in any danger of a resource collapse. And as Bill Maher expressed concern about water, Musk responded with common sense that is not in abundance with climate activists. This line too. Desalination, when you're trying to take the salt out of salt water and make it fresh, is absurdly cheap, Musk said. reminding Mar that the world remains 70% water and the oceans are readily available to aid humanity's water supply. It's like, dude. And he says, there's plenty of water. It's not an issue. I want to be fair. It's like, dude. I've been reading this forever. Those plants are extremely expensive. The power that it takes to run those suckers to turn salt water into fresh water. So for him to come say, oh no, it's dirt cheap, dude. If it was dirt cheap, they'd be everywhere. Absolutely freaking everywhere. And they're not. Elon. My God. They just let him on things. Again, I'm gonna say it till my dying day. He's not Tony Stark. He's never gonna be Tony Stark. He's not even an American. He's South African. Oh, I hate this guy.
Yeah.
Seriously, put me in a room with him, please, with a camera. I want to talk to him just for a little bit. Okay, last two clown worlds, then we'll do a couple emails. Which is this one's from the Western Journal, and we are not going to go into. You guys should know by now why Bud Light is having problems. We're not going to go into the why Bud Light is having problems. But the Western Journal is running a story. The price of a 36 pack of Bud Light at Costco goes viral. They are pretty much giving it away at this point. Which, yeah, if you're smart, you're running to Costco. It's like, yeah, dump it. Just freaking dump it. So how cheap were they selling it? They were selling it for $14.97 for a 36 pack. That's pretty damn cheap. If you want to compare it, it's like you say, oh, I don't buy beer. And there's a picture of it in Costco, $14.97. And you're trying to say, okay, what can I compare this to? Well, okay, first off, it's 41 cents a can. That's pretty cheap. 20 years ago, in 2003, the average 6-pack in the U.S. sold for $6.79, about $1.13 a can. And that was 20 years ago. So they are dumping. If you want a cheap buzz and you don't care about political stances, hey, Bud Light could be for you. I mean, you can get pretty trashed on $36 or a 36 pack. In fact, I challenge people to drink a 36 pack.
Ugh, don't challenge people to do
no,
that.
No, I shouldn't do that. Yeah, this is not a TikTok challenge. Stick to your laundry pods and whatever else you're doing on that thing. Okay, last but not least, last clown world, and we do a couple emails. This was just weird and was sent to me, but I had to cover. This is from the BBC. So an artist, there's a couple layers to this. An artist created a piece with a banana peel duct taped to a wall. It sold for $120,000. That alone should raise some eyebrows,
right?
But then a separate performance artist came in to make sort of a splash, and she or he, this was in Miami. No, it was a guy, David DeTuna, pulled it from the wall, peeled it, and it was a whole banana nailed to a wall. Pulled it, peeled it, and devoured it on Saturday. And then they just got another banana. The original artist went back up and put another banana up there. But it's like, okay, who's paying 120 grand for this? And who's the idiot, the rival artist that ate it? And the picture, by the way, with the girl eating the banana down there, that's not the real one. And
yeah, it's got to specify not the banana.
Yeah, it's a splashy.
Ridiculous.
It's a splashy story, but it's a stupid story. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's incredibly stupid.
Yep.
That's like they have to be like laundering money.
Yes, art is a fantastic way to launder money because you can't prove what it's worth. It's objective. It's subjective.
Yeah, they can't tell you what you can't define for you what is and what is not art.
Yeah. All right. 3 more things. I want to read a couple of emails before we go to our second break. The first one is this was sent to me, I think right after, during the show. Hi, Mark. I have listened. This is interesting because this is not from one of our regular listeners, nor is it from a flat earther. Hi, Mark. I have listened to Strange World since the fireworks story. Well, that goes back 8 years. And have watched all the clues and a bunch of the interviews. I love the two where you and the other guy, that'd be Jonathan, listed your best apocalypse movies. I am not, all caps, a flat earther. In fact, I teach high school science, but I love the show, especially since COVID hit. While I don't agree with you about the shape of the earth, I think a lot of your other opinions are more on the mark. Okay. I wanted to share the story with you for your lucky, unlucky list. Our former pastor passed away in his sleep after a short illness. He went to sleep feeling flu-like symptoms and never woke up. But here's the kicker. I found out from a friend who is close to his family. They won't know the cause of death for 3 to 4 months because the coroner is so backed up with young adults dropping dead. They're used to oldies dropping and not needing autopsies, but this is different. Lots of young adults who are suddenly dying. Haven't heard of that on the news for some reason, I think. Here are some of the links to the story of his passing. So he sent me some of the links. Hope you realize there's some Globers out there who are regular watchers of your content and aren't trolls. All the best, Nathan. Thank you, Nathan. I don't often get polite Globies. It's pretty rare. So that was kind of nice, I thought. But yeah, if anyone has any stories from coroners, love to hear it of what's going on there. I think a lot of this stuff's being hidden. Another email. This one's called Clouds. Pretty short. Hello, Mark. I might have missed this talking point. If the moon is so powerful to move the oceans, why doesn't it move the clouds higher into the sky after passing overhead? Thank you, Daryl. You know what? No one's ever asked me that question. And it could be valid. If it was real, you know what I mean? If the moon was this massive gravitational force, then shouldn't the clouds move somewhat? A little bit? Maybe?
Well,
maybe not.
The clouds are not salty.
You got me there. It's true. For those of you who don't know, salt water responds way more what's the word? Actively, quickly. You can complete an electrical circuit with salt water, and you can't with fresh water. So electricity on fresh water, or even a gravitational field on fresh water, may not do much. But thank you for that. On the last email, this one, you guys probably didn't know, but behind the scenes, one of our people has been uploading, I've got 1,500 videos on my channel. And one of our guys, I'm not going to give him a name. If he wants me to name him next week, I will. But he writes an email. He goes, stick a fork in 2019. It is done. He goes, after 3 years and 11 months, the channel backup of Mark K. Sargent to BitChute is finished.
What?
I know. He uploaded everything from YouTube to BitChute.
Wow.
And it took almost 40 years to do it. Off and on. I know. I couldn't thank him enough. I heaped huge amounts of praise. All that is left is your playlist of FE music videos, which a lot of them aren't mine, and also archive the meetup promos, which who cares, because I have to delete those after the meetup happens anyway. So if you're looking for something, this is for anyone that's listening out there, if you're looking for something that is deleted from YouTube and you don't have a downloaded copy, you will find it there. Under the BitChute channel. I'll give you the numbers report when the 4-year channel achievement is reached. I started the channel in mid-May of 2019, so it will be soon. So thank you very much for that. So many cool people that are involved in this, and that was awesome. And it was a good point, because I had a whole bunch of stuff that was taken off of YouTube because of various reasons, notably Strange World. Like, a lot of people don't know that even though my channel's intact, my channel still exists. When they were pulling down stuff, remember during that whole time when I got all those guideline strikes, and it's like, oh my God, I'm dead, man. They pulled down Strange World 293 all the way through 344. All of them.
Wow.
And those, and I'm scared to upload them again, because it's like, okay. I mean, they pulled them down. It's like, hey, we deleted your video. Hey, we deleted your video. It's like, what? And you guys know 293 through 344 was in the middle of the pandemic. So yeah, that was fun. Good times. So anyway, thank you for all the people that help and all the people that do stuff. While we have a couple minutes left before we go to break, I also want to mention that if anyone wants a free survival guide, PDF format, I wrote something called Empty Shelves about what to do if the power goes out and stays out. You can email me at msargent23@comcast.net. That's MSARGENT 23 at comcast.net. And just put Empty Shelves or Survival Guide or whatever in the title, and you can flip me off or do whatever. Lots of people do just because I say that. Well, no, I mean, you don't have to put anything in the body. Just, hey, Mark, I don't like anything, but send me your survival guide. And it's like, yeah, great. So I'll send it to you. If you want the printed version or the audiobook version, and it's actually me talking. It's not a deep fake or some sort of AI voice emulation software. It's actually me. Those are on Amazon. So that's cool. when we come back. Do you have anything else before we go to give out the phone number?
I do not. Right now.
Peanut Gallery says, I keep it on a memory stick. Keep what on a memory stick? He has to type. What's he keeping on a memory stick?
I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, empty shelves. Yes, thank you. Yeah, empty shelves. Yeah, I've got hard copies lying around here. Anyway, the phone number to call in when we come back from the break is 848-222-2480. It is 848-222-2480. You can comment on whatever you want. Oh, and I'm also supposed to look. I'm sorry. I think Peter Jarvia was thinking of calling in. So I got to
cool.
I got to look for his phone number because he said he was going to call in on 859. So don't know what he wants to talk about, but we could pick him up. So I think that was it. Apparently he's in list. You know what? We'll pick him up as soon as we come back from our second break. So you know what, Karen? Can we go to our second break? Are you ready?
Or a break whenever you want, Mark.
Say that again, but slower and more breathy. All right, let's go to our second break.
Hey, are you a foodie? Are you looking for the best salsas and hot sauce to serve at your next Mexican cultural appropriation party? A salsa that will knock your guests on their rear ends? Or maybe you're just looking for that authentic roasted chili flavor. Imperio Salsa is small batch and handcrafted with choice non-GMO ingredients. It is legit my favorite salsa ever. Support your local flat earther and go to imperiosalsa.com and order some of the most authentic flavored salsa I have had in a very long time. Shipping is included on all USA orders. And oh, look at this. The more you order, the more you save. They have some of the best seasonings that go great on your homemade guacamoles and quesadillas or whatever you like. They are the bomb. Season your meat with it. Season everything with it. Go get it. Keep it flat.
I'm gonna have to buy a sombrero.
Salsa.
What are you talking about, Vegas?
Vegas, baby, Vegas.
What do you mean, Vegas?
Vegas, Las Vegas.
I'm not going to no Vegas.
Yeah, I think, you know what, man? We're going to go to Vegas, and...
When are we going to Vegas?
Give Daddy the Rain Man suite. You dig that? We're going to Vegas, Mike.
Vegas! You think we get there by midnight?
Honey, we're going to be up 500 by midnight.
Yeah, Vegas!
One thing to remember here, if you're making still water, it's always flat, always level. So every little line that you put in it must be basically flat. You can go anywhere you want to go with it, but you have to keep them straight. In still water, it's always flat, always level.
I'm in a cult, 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 I'm in a cult. I'm at the Grove, Bohemian. I drink the juice, the chocolate milk, the holy cow. I wear the sneaks, tip up the beak, I'm a 33.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 3 of 4. It's you, me, and the always wonderful Karen B. And Peanut Gallery is somewhere back there doing something. But right now, we are taking your phone calls. Phone number to call in is 848-222-2480. That's 848-222-2480. You know what? Nothing odd about that number. So, where is my phone thing? There it is. We're going to pick up, as much as I'd like to pick up 214 first, we are going to try 859 because he said, look for me. It's like, all right, I'll look for you. That's fine. 859, is this Peter Jarvio?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Peter, what's going on? Where are you? What are you doing?
I'm home. I think the semester's finished. I might have one more day on Thursday, but just wanted to give you an update on the campus activism.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I've been to 42 colleges now. I hit 12 new ones this semester, a few repeats, and I got 5,100 students on just the flat earth this semester. Total of, let's see, on campuses, 19,000. I've done a couple festivals also, so a grand total of 21,400 something.
Wow.
You are definitely the most hardcore street activist I've ever seen in my life. I mean, you go to, for people who don't know, we had Peter on. We're going to have you on again for an upcoming show. But you go out to campuses, you call the campuses in advance, if I'm not mistaken. You ask for permission or a permit or whatever you want, and then you go out there with sandwich boards, and you set up shop, and you're there from morning till late afternoon, right?
Usually about 8 or 10 hours.
Oh.
I usually call ahead because every campus does it different. Some require a permit, some don't. I usually spend 3 or 4 days at a new campus. But anyway,
it's amazing, absolutely amazing, Peter. And I noticed when I ran into you in Indiana, I noticed you had your little black book with you, and you keep these little journals of where you've gone and the rough numbers, and it's staggering. And I know people is like, is there any video of this? And there's not a lot of video out there, but it's absolutely legit. I mean, you go out and hit people as hard as you can, and I know that you have, your how long do you think your nickel tour goes before you run into start repeating data?
Well, every 4 years you get all new students at a college, so that's not a problem.
No. I mean, when
I'm up to try.
Go ahead.
Pardon me?
No, go ahead. You're good.
No, I'm going to probably start repeating more. I repeated some this semester, but I'll be repeating some, going back to some of the same schools probably in the fall.
Nice. Are you still handing out 3D printed flat Earth models?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
I give them a short class, just a couple of minutes on the fake moon landing and a short introduction to flat Earth, and then I'll give them a 3D model.
That's so great, man. I'm so glad that you go out there. Can you give me some of your top 5, top 10 schools that you really enjoyed going out to, some that were more receptive than others?
Well, Purdue's my favorite because four Apollo astronauts graduated Purdue. I've been there a total of about, I think, 9 days now. But my second favorite this semester is University of Michigan.
Really?
I was there 4 days and got 800 people in 4 days. So that's been my best college for turnout. I hit their spring. The weather turned good, and they had the location's right in the middle of the quad. So that went real well. I was at West Virginia last week. Been going to a lot of schools. I did one story. I met at one school a student that was real good friends with Neil Armstrong's grandson.
Really?
His grandson told him years ago. Neil told his grandson we never went.
Hmm.
So at least Neil's honest with his family.
Sure. I could see that. You know, it weighs on you when you're again, it's different from getting away with something. When you're getting huge amount of credit that's heaped upon you for something you didn't do, including full-blown ticker tape parades down New York City and other cities. I mean, that weighs on you. There's a guilt that sets in. So
sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Peter. So I'm sorry, but do you have anything coming up in the near future, or are you taking a break for a little while?
There's a festival coming up in Cincinnati. I did real well there last year, so I'll probably do a return. But other than that, nothing scheduled until the fall semester starts up in probably about the middle of August.
Okay. Well, when that happens, let me know before you start doing stuff, and we'll do a quick announcement. It's like, oh yeah, Peter will be here this week and here this week. I mean, if you know in advance before the show, I'd love to give you a quick shout out of that, if that's okay.
Well, at the schools, I'm always outdoors, so it depends on the weather forecast.
Okay.
And I usually don't decide until Sunday where I'm going to be on Monday.
Okay.
So it's real short notice on the schools.
Well, again, even if it's a maybe, I think it'd be great for people to see you in action.
Yep.
Okay. Well, anyway, thank you very much, Peter. Anything else before I let you go?
I think that'll do it.
All right. Hey, you have a good night, okay?
You too.
Thanks, Peter. Okay. Let's go to Jan from Dallas, 214. Hey, Jan.
Oh, hello, Mark, Canby, and Peanut, and happy birthday to Joseph and Jacob. And what a privilege to follow Peter Jarbio. Are you kidding me? Oh, I just love that man. And you said you might have him on again. I can't wait. And he had suggested President Trump is to be thanked, as he said, for free speech on the campuses. And considering I think he's the greatest president America's ever had, yes, I did say that. And I think it's so cool. And I think his, the eye chart thing that he did was so brilliant in such a simple way, which is usually how brilliance starts.
Yeah.
I think that's just fabulous. And may I say a small thing about Waco?
Sure.
I was living in Dallas at the time, and as that was back when they had the same news story 24/7 everywhere. And a friend of mine got into the car, turned on the radio, and they just started the fire. And you knew what was happening, obviously, and who was in there, basically. And it was just very heartbreaking for everyone. And then you find out what was really going on.
Yeah.
Just kind of mention that. I'm very proud of, I believe it was Jeremiah and Skiba and his wife and friend doing this. I can't wait to hear when they post that story. And I believe the man in Arkansas, yes, did have something to do with that directly, quote. And let's see, I guess I'm so overtaken by being after Peter Jarbio. I didn't have much to say.
Oh, I'm
Anyway,
sorry.
the man from Wales.
It's not a stage thing. You don't have to worry about following other people. It's not like Peter's covered in glitter and electricity. You're okay.
Well, you are. I mean,
Well, yes, but that's usually private when the camera's off. So.
well, and the gentleman from Wales, I love Wales. My sister has visited there, and how cool is that? And there are 3 people I know of that have come from Wales besides, well, Tom Jones and Richard Burton and Ray Milland, one of my favorite actors, came from Wales. So it's a wonderful place. I hear it's beautiful too. Yeah. And don't know where John is. And there's William and everybody in Canada. And I think that's about it. I'm just sort of breathless right now, Mark.
That's all right, Jen. Jen, is always lovely to hear from you. And don't be a stranger. And again, every time you leave me a voicemail, I listen to it multiple times just so I don't miss anything.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you have a good you have a good night.
Thanks, Jan.
Okie doke.
Bye, Jen.
Thank you, Karen B.
Well, let's see who can follow Karen B. You know what? Let's go to 505.
Jan.
Possibly in New Mexico, because that's a real place.
Mark, Karen, Peanut, I am not worthy to follow Jan.
Will you guys stop doing that? Everyone's going to be doing that. It's like, I can't believe I'm following such and such. But go ahead. Keep going.
Oh, boy. Hey, and just for the record, I hope from one of your Died Suddenly articles, I hope Out of the Blue becomes the new Died Suddenly. It's just got a little bit
no, it's too casual. You can't suddenly and unexpectedly. I mean, it has that jarring thing, but Out of the Blue, I mean, yeah, it means the same thing, but that's one of the first times I've ever heard it. I don't think it's going to catch on. I just don't. For whatever reason. I think it's cool, but they've already got their standards: brief illness, suddenly, unexpectedly, or just died, or no cause of death given. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. Yeah, Out of the Blue has a little firmament, flat earthy ring to it. That's
you know what? I'm going to take back my earlier statement. I'd like Out of the Blue to be used more because it might have a flat earth slant. Sure, why not? Since I don't think we're going to be running out of lucky unlucky people.
Unfortunately not. It looks like it's wow.
See, we could all
there was an article.
Go ahead. You're good.
Go ahead.
Nope, you're good.
Yeah. There was an article last week. I don't know if you guys caught it. It was NASA gonna lock up 4 researchers in a simulated Mars outpost for a year. I think they're gonna do this in Arizona, this facility that has kind of an indoor and outdoor factor to it. It's the indoor factor is only 1,700 square feet, which that's actually a normal size house. They call this project the Crew Health and Performance Analog, nicknamed Chapia, colorful name. Yeah. So there's 4 proposed astronauts that are picked for this, and 2 are male and 2 are female, and they list their actual jobs that they do, and they actually have 2 backup crew members. And the thing that interests me on this is I'm always kind of interested in these social experiments that they are going to do here, and I'm sort of like curious just to follow up and see if they actually make it for the 12 months because they can't leave.
Peanut mentioned there was a movie that was done some years ago on this called Biodome. Tell you how many years ago, Pauly Shore was the lead in it, and
oh wow, okay,
people same sort of scenario, but the Biodome facility was much bigger, and they still all went nuts. So, and it was a comedy on top of it. So yeah, I don't think human beings were meant to be put in those sort of quarters for that long, just them where you can't do anything else. Whatever. It's a but again, you're throwing money at a project. Oh, we're going to simulate the Mars experience. Like, really? Everybody knows that if Mars was even if some place you could get to, it's a one-way trip. Anyone that goes there is going to die. I'm not trying to be cold or glib when I say that, but it's true. There's no way to get back, even if it was real, even if it was something you could reach. We don't have the tech to do it. If you had a full-blown UFO, yeah, sure, maybe. But again, that's assuming you could actually get there instead of crashing into the ceiling. So, but again, I like the money they're going to spend on it. I'm curious myself what these 4 people are going to do. I'd love it to turn into a horror movie where they just come at each other, and 6 months in, it turns into some tragedy. And then they turn that into a movie. In fact, they've done this in space.
Nothing better than
Go ahead.
Nothing better than a crazy astronaut story. Yeah.
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think it's going to end badly if it actually happens. Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything else?
Just real quick, that other article today, Fake Space, Saturn rings disappearing as quickly as 100 million years from now.
Wow.
Or maybe they'll be around for 1.1 billion years. That one took the cake today. Yeah.
I am concerned about this. Yeah, again, a great space reinforcement story. Run a story with numbers that are absolutely so large, as David Weiss would like to say, that they're meaningless. You just go right over everybody's head, but it's like, oh, it's a space story. That's all they care about, which I've said many, many times over the years, which is all they care about is you just glance for a second and acknowledge there was a story about space. And of course, because it came from a scientific based, whatever it was, journalism, periodical, that you assumed, oh, well, it's got to be real. It's got to be legitimate. Whatever.
Yeah. The only other one real quick was the phone home with the ham radio. They're kind of prepping people for astronauts. Artemis 2, I guess they're prepping them for us to know that they're going to start using ham radio.
Oh yeah, they were until they decided to take the program and throw it in the trash for now. Again, it's too coincidental that the first Artemis 2 rocket. Oh, so remember, Artemis 1, no problem, round the moon and back, taking pictures, everybody's happy, fine, except the pictures are utter crap. Artemis 2 blows up instantly, destroys the pad, FAA steps in, and then environmental groups step in on top of the FAA. It's like, slowing this thing down to almost nothing. I mean, if I had to take a bet, I would say no one's even going to talk about this now for the rest of the year. I mean, as far as, get something else off the pad. So buy some time.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's going to go away quietly.
Because again, Artemis 2, the difference between 1 and 2 is 2 was supposed to be manned, and I can't stress this enough. There were supposed to be, remember, that was a test rocket. There were supposed to be people on the top of that thing, which would now be dead people. And they treat it like, oh, we learned a lot from that explosion. It's like, no, you didn't. You learned nothing. The rocket was absolutely out of control in two minutes. Yeah. Peanut says, put influencers on the rocket. Yeah, there's supposed to be influencers on the main rocket that's supposed to go around the moon, by the way.
Yeah, didn't they have that whole thing where they picked like all those special people for the moon missions and
we should totally interview those people.
They have them all picked out already. Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure those people watching, I'm sure people were tweeting them and messaging them. It's like, dude, so that rocket that blew up. Are you still thinking about going?
Rocket exploded.
Isn't that the rocket you're gonna go on? It didn't go very far. So yeah, can't wait to see how this pans out. Anyway, anything else?
No, that's it. Just love you guys and keep it flat, everybody. And of course, shout out to Peter Jarvio. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. And of course, Jan. We love you, Jan. And okay, thanks, Mark. Thanks, Karen.
All right, have a good one. See you, man.
Keep it flat. Bye.
Yeah. No, Peanut. I don't think Mad Mike went farther than the Artemis rocket. Not even close. But no, the Artemis rocket I think made it to 30,000 feet before it blew up. And Mad Mike's rocket technically didn't blow up, so I think Mad Mike's rocket was more successful and didn't blow up the pad. But then again, it was steam powered. Yeah, I'm not saying that. Okay, so let's pick up at least one more call before the break. Let's go. By the way, phone number to call is 848-222-2480. That's 848-222-2480. And after this call, by the way, the lines are open. So don't be shy. Why would you be shy? By the way, you can call in and ask about anything you want. And I know some of you are really drunk or really stoned or both. And it's like, I don't think I can even form sentences. Try. Give it a shot. And of course, as soon as I say that, Dennis calls in. Of course he does. All right, let's pick up California. California 530. What's happening? Yeah, you got to mute button. Hey, that's a rookie mistake. You hate to see it. 530. You are unmuted. You know what? I'm going to toggle it a few times so you can figure this out. Toggle. There you go. Now you get to hear her. Line muted, line unmuted, line muted. That's a hint to you to take it off mute. You know what?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Oh, you were seconds away from being bumped.
Yeah, I don't know why and how that happens.
I'd say it was human error.
For a while, but it's
You're not good with your telephone machine.
And I unmuted it, and then it went back and forth saying muted and unmuted about 7 times. So I don't know what the hell is going on. But, hey, I don't know who that was before me. His voice sounds familiar. I don't know his name. But
it's one of our regulars from New Mexico.
Kind of almost following Jan.
Yeah, you were almost following Jan.
So it was an honor. Yeah, I usually follow Jan, So I wanted to shout out to her and Peter Giorgio. Some good stuff. I like to hear about what he's doing. And I'm sure he's listening. So if he ever makes it to Northern California, I would be more than happy to show up one of the campuses to film him. To be sure, I would love to do that.
This has got to be one of the most polite list of callers we've ever had. Everybody's thanking everybody. It's like an award show where everybody's like, "Yeah, you see that? Yeah, it was great. It was really great. It was there."
You want to try somebody?
Okay. What else you got?
Oh, what's up with you, Karen B? What the hell? I'm joking. So
that's what you want to do.
I didn't start listening to about half hour in, so I'm not sure what the main thing was. But since I do have I do teach CPR and first aid. A few weeks back, you had made a comment, and I wanted to give you what I teach people. And when you do the lucky and unlucky thing, I think about the died suddenly and all that.
Yeah,
and,
some of them live though. But go ahead.
Oh, well, when you come up on the scene and you did not witness the injury or illness or whatever, you always assume trauma. And so when you go to provide care, especially in the lay field and even as a professional, you're always going to default to trauma. And the difference is illness comes from within, whether you had a heart attack, diabetes, anything inside you. And then trauma would be anything exterior, whether you got in a fight, you got a gunshot wound, you got in a car accident, that your injury and you're down because of something to you. Where illness is within, which could be, cancer undiagnosed, it could be all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
So that was it. So when they said it was non-traumatic, they were probably referring to it wasn't due to violence or of any sort.
Sure.
But yes, in the greater sense, traumatic when you die, that's probably pretty traumatic for the family. Absolutely. So I just wanted to make that little distinction there for you.
Oh, thanks.
I have a little background in that. And pretty sure Zulu would be able to back me up on that. He usually knows about that stuff as well.
Yeah.
So that's what I had for that. And I don't know what else to say, except I'm going to shout out to Jan and shout out to You know what? I'm going to shout out to Nathan Thompson.
Really?
I don't know why. He came to mind today. Yeah, well, I've actually talked to him a couple times, a few times.
Okay.
Recently?
So, and then Patricia, if you're out there listening, shout out to you and the whole Globebusters crew. Shout out. And of course, you, Karen B. And you too, Mark. So have a good night. Oh, and my fellow driving buddy. You know, the guy that kind of talks about, you know, when he says, I don't know if you got that book. What's his name again?
Yeah, his name's
I forgot.
his
What's
name's
his name?
Yep, his name's Dennis. He's actually listening now, so be
Dennis.
careful.
Shout out to Dennis.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dennis. Peace out, guys.
All right.
Bye.
See you, man. All right. Let's pick up 904, and then we'll probably wait till after the break, Dennis, to pick you up, because I know you can be a bit loquacious, even though I don't use that word ever, unless I'm talking about you. Wow. Now there's calls coming in. Wonderful. Okay. Valley Music Journey, you got 4 minutes. What do you got?
Yes, our first-time caller, first-time condemner. Excuse me. No, I'm not first-time caller. I wanted to point out the irony of you being condemned in the movie. What was it called? Behind the Flat or Behind the Horizon?
Behind the Curve.
Behind the Curve.
Yeah.
And you were in there, and a lot of people were condemned in that movie.
Yeah.
Even our late friend Bob.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace, of course.
I was condemned by Matt Boylan. That's the guy that came after me.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. For, because you were so greedy, you wanted to make millions off of that movie.
And remember, don't forget, I am
and front end.
I am the greatest secret.
All kinds of royalties.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Seriously. So the previous caller, I always love 505. He's great. Whoever that new, you just call him 505. I don't know who he is, but he's always got good info. But to think now that you're condemned from that movie by the producer for saying that the Earth is not a ball to some kids.
Yeah.
But yet, Washington State and these other states can roll out these sanctuaries, so-called, where they can mutilate children on their own accord without consulting the parents, and even basically kidnap them from the parents, whether they're from the state or not.
Sure.
By saying, well, the kid's saying that the parent does not agree with my gender confusion, and I want to go ahead with the hormones and the mutilation and the castration. Yet you can't get a tattoo at the age of 18 in Washington State, or I don't think anywhere else. But you're the bad one because you said that kids should know that there might be a good hypothesis for another shape of the Earth. Yes,
that, and my recommendation that if you're cooking children, go with the Hansel and Gretel technique. An actual wood fire oven type deal. Get that whole smoky. Use mesquite. That's really what I'm suggesting.
Well, luckily they didn't have any Twitter tweets or text messages back when you were at Western Washington University and you were, planning on cooking people with your fireworks.
Yeah, I was lucky that I escaped social media by a number of years. My life would be very different if I got into that later in life.
You could have created a lot of fake accounts for you back then, and I'm sure they would have entangled you in something where you'd make a scapegoat out of you. But your IQ is below 90 to get that done by the FBI. Since your IQ is too high, I guess that might not have worked.
Maybe. Anyway, do you have any?
Anyway, that was a weird call I'm making for you guys, but
that's okay.
Shout out to all y'all, and shout out to Jake.
Thank you.
Still missing.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, keep me posted on that. I'm curious where he might have run off to.
I hired a detective, and she's supposed to get back to me pretty soon.
Ooh. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
anyhow, I'll hang on the line, and thanks for all the cool callers and all the great people in the chat as usual.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yeah. All
Talk
right.
soon.
Take care, Karen.
Okay.
Take care, Mark.
Thanks. Cheers.
Bye. He will be at Vegas. I can almost guarantee it. All right. We're going to our final break. When we come back, please do call in 848-222-2480. That's 848-222-2480. When we come back from the break, I will pick up 504. I will pick up 480. And there's another one from Eastern Washington, which keeps coming in and out, which means there might be some connection problems. So, Karen, would you do me the honor of playing that last outro?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Where is the
Alpha 33, target is on property, approaching food trailer.
Engage Delta 9.
Roger. Alpha 33 descending.
Hey, I know you.
They might be listening.
CIA.
Maybe.
Aliens.
Probably.
Globalists.
Definitely. I may have already said too much.
We have what you need.
Really?
It's flat
I'm listening.
and round
Go on.
and delicious.
Tell me the secret. I see the truth in it.
I thought you might.
This truly is a special place.
Yeah, we like to think so.
Will you be here tomorrow?
We move around quite a bit.
Ah, a mobile command center. A strong strategy. I like where your head's at.
Anything else?
I was never here.
Package intercepted. Copy that, Alpha 33. Come on back, let's eat.
Long live Flat Earth.
Long live Flat Earth!
welcome back to Strange World, part 4 of 4. It's you, me, and the always lovely Karen B. So, phone number to call in is 848-222-2480. That's 848-222-2480. The question of the night is, how many tattoos does Karen actually have? Winner gets a brand new car. And we are going to pick up. Oh, you know what? I said I was going to pick up Dennis. Let's pick up Dennis. Let's see what's happening with Dennis driving in a truck on the road somewhere on the West Coast, probably in Oregon. I don't know. What is on your mind, Dennis? Probably a lot.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to try and confine it to just one thing. So hopefully I'll get finished by 20 minutes after the show ends, but no guarantees. Yeah, just the other day, I'm always driving 6 days a week, like 70 hours. So like I wanted to listen to the coffee talk the other morning, and I, like 5 minutes before it came on, I was ready, but I had just gotten home, and I fell asleep. So I woke up like several hours after it finished. So I did notice, I was listening today to just a couple highlights, and I noticed she announced where Flattoberfest is going to be. So, and I'd also saw a little conversation about, unfortunately, as it is now, the vaccine mandates for people traveling into the country from abroad, like non-citizens, people like, for example, Alex Michael and others, allegedly still will have to get some kind of vaccine, at least officially, after May the 11th. Anyway.
Whoa, wait.
Correct me if I'm mistaken.
Well, no, because I read two things today. In fact, Karen and I were bouncing back and forth on this, where it looks like, because the White House just announced yesterday that May 11th is now the cutoff date, because
there's an official statement from the White House. So yeah.
To where now beforehand, there was some confusion, because back on the 27th, which was not that long ago, they actually said, okay, we're going to do, it's going to be one dose now instead of two, but it's got to be one of the double dose, the 2-in-1 deals. Like, what? So that's what was confusing.
So it's looking like that no longer applies. It's looking like the best outcome is what it looks like right now.
Right now, it looks like May 11th, it will be over. And I'm hoping for several reasons. One, of course, for Karen's conference, because people from outside the United States will be able to come into Las Vegas. And of course, for my guy, Novak Djokovic, who wants to play the U.S. Open later this year. And now he should be able to come in because he missed it last year. So anyway, that's the word on the street.
Okay, good to hear. That's actually pretty important. But the only thing I was going to say, the confusion there, it set my mind off into kind of a related but another subject, which I'll just say, I think, succinctly. What it is that the intent, I think, of like Biden and the administration, they had wanted us for so long with this preventing international travelers from coming here and all over the world. It was to keep people in place. And I was equating that with the isolationism of the the pro-German isolationists during the 1940s, like Charles Lindbergh and others. The effect of Biden's policy seemed similar to that. So I drew a parallel. And what that set me, some people could see good arguments for Lindbergh, but he was, pro-Nazi in a lot of the essence of his statements. Well, anyway, that got me thinking. There was a writer, and this is who I'm getting at, from the 60s, and he was a conservative, I think, but in general, but his name is Fred Cook. Definitely worth checking out. C-O-O-K, Fred Cook.
Okay.
He was a maverick, or from the 1960s, Fred Cook. He wrote several books, a great one on exposing the FBI early on, but he wrote one called The Warfare State, which reminded me of that, how the growth during World War II, especially, of the military industrial complex and the companies, and he's critical of it. and now he's pro Roosevelt, by the way, but that just the content, or rather, of Cook's books that got me thinking about that. That's one of the great writers from that, and very much unappreciated. So, and shout out to William. Sorry, I keep cutting you off. He gave me a shout out the other week on Coffee Talk, and shout out to William and to Dan, and hope he finds his guitarist, because he's definitely one of, I don't know, Alex Michael and others are great on songwriting, singing, but he's one of the best guitarists in Flat Earth I've seen. You remember that meetup?
Yeah, no, I do remember him. Absolutely, I do. Yeah, good guy.
Yeah.
Hope nothing nefarious has happened.
I hope so too. That's all I got. I pulled over to the scales and stopped to eliminate the noise of the truck. I don't know if that helped or not.
It doesn't come through, so it's good. Well, thank you, Dennis. It was great to hear from you. And again, looking forward to seeing you at the Seattle/Bellevue meetup in June.
Yes, and hopefully at the Los Angeles one also.
Well, hopefully, but that hasn't been cemented yet. But I probably won't hear from them for a few weeks at least. So we're good.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Okay, appreciate it. Thanks.
Have a good one. All right. So a bunch of calls have come in. We're not going to be able to get all of them. So I'm going to have to be somewhat selective here. I'm thinking of picking up Brentwood, New York, because with this one, I don't think we've run into this before. 845, of course, still out there, and another one out of Lawrence, Kansas. But let's try 631. What could go wrong? 631. I'm hesitant with 480 just because the last name is put in there, but we'll find out. 631. Your line is unmuted. What's happening?
Hi. It's been a while since I called in. It's
Hi.
Mother Dragon.
Hey, Mother Dragon. How are you?
Hi. I don't know. Like I said, I called in once before months ago, so I thought it was about time I called in again, especially after this past weekend's meetup.
That's right. You went to the Connecticut. What was it? Was it Connecticut meetup? Stamford, Connecticut?
Yeah, the Stamford, Connecticut. Yep.
That's
Right
right.
David Weiss
David
and
Weiss was
everybody.
out there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good to be with everyone again. You know, familiar faces, people I've not met before. Because I went to the one where they had one at that diner during the whole, pandemic nonsense. But I don't really get to go to a lot of these, so just being around fellow flat earthers, people with the right mindset, being able to talk freely, it's just a breath of fresh air. And I need to make an effort to go to a lot more.
Cool.
And meet more of you guys, and hopefully one day meet you, Karen, and you, Mark, and everyone else out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. Anything else?
No, not really. But
how many people were at the meetup that weekend?
What? Sorry, say that again.
How many people ended up being at the meetup?
Oh, Dave, I think, and the chat for Globebusters that he put in about like 75 showed up.
Oh wow, it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
shabby for a local
We
meetup.
took over Rico's. So yeah,
Nice.
that was definitely a fun time, and I hope everyone out there is doing well. And if things are rough, because I know how that feels, just keep hanging in there. We all have each other to lean on. So just keep going, and there's a brighter future ahead.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, not a problem. Talk to you guys later.
All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Same to you.
Yep. Let's go out. I think we have time for a couple more. Let's go out to possibly Arizona. 480, you're on. What do you got?
Hey, first time caller on A Strange World. It's an honor.
Hey, how long you been listening?
Yeah, I call into Coffee Talk a couple times.
Okay.
And then I call into Cornerism, Speaker's Corner with Jaron. I got a name, Tony Coriolis. That's my flat Earth name. So Tony Coriolis calling in.
Right on. What's up, Tony?
Originally, I was going to say what Dennis said. I heard the announcement of the place for Vegas. I am 100% going out to that. And interesting. I was wondering where you were going to pick. So this is going to be cool. Awesome. Starting my planning now.
Oh, did you announce it on Coffee Talk?
Yeah, I told everybody yesterday that it was going to be at Sam's Town.
Sam's Town.
Yeah.
Which is on the old drag.
No, actually, it's not.
It's
I
not?
thought it was. I don't know why I was thinking that, but it's not. It's like way off. It's off the strip.
So it's
like,
not off Broadway. It's off Broadway.
Yeah, it's like on the east side of Vegas, right by where there's some nature stuff.
Oh, good.
But it's cool. It's like all inclusive there. It'll be fun.
Yeah, most of the people aren't going to be leaving the hotel.
Does
anyway.
it have like? Yeah, I know I went to one place in Vegas and it had like the biggest bowling alley. Is it that place by chance?
I don't know if it has the biggest bowling alley, but there is a bowling alley in it. Probably not the biggest.
Okay.
I mean, I
know. I was at whatever Vegas place has the biggest bowling alley, and that was my first time seeing someone wearing a flat Earth shirt. So hopefully I run into that person again. I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Nice.
Right on.
Very cool.
Yeah, so, hey, I did have a couple things to say. So, Mark Sargent, I've never talked to you before, but I think your interview with Jesse Lee Peterson, that is my favorite Flat Earth interview I've ever heard from anyone.
Oh,
and
thank you.
I've tried to show it to other people. Everyone just gets triggered, but it is my absolute favorite.
Thank you. And by the way, the Jesse Lee Peterman interview where I debated a physicist in Los Angeles, and it was weird because there was a studio. The studio audience was cleared out. There was no studio audience. It was just Robbie and Patricia in the background at the very back of all these chairs.
Oh, okay.
And we were talking up front, but because of copyright, I couldn't put it on my channel. Not even close. I mean, that they made me sign a waiver before I left saying I couldn't use it. It's like, yeah, great.
It is really hard to find too.
It is hard to find. So
they make it really hard to find. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It does not get picked up and shared anywhere because you try to share it, you get struck down. It's like, yeah, you guys suck. So they wouldn't even let us. They like made sure our phones were turned off while we were in there, so we didn't even secretly record audio while we were doing it. They're very private about their, they lock down their content very, very tight. But thank you. I like the Jesse Lee Peterson interview a lot, and it was a lot of fun while we were down there.
Yeah, it was my absolute favorite. And then, so I wanted to hit you with something kind of random. Every time I call into the shows, I always go a little random angle on it. So I went Chinese New Year on Coffee Talk the other time. Mark, do you know your Chinese New Year animal?
Yeah, it's the monkey.
Nice, dude. I'm a monkey as well.
Yeah, I only know that because if you go to enough Chinese restaurants, you will eventually get the placemat with all the monkey signs, all the animal signs around the outside.
How I got into it. Yeah,
and I was sad because I wasn't a dragon because it was the only mythical animal on the chart. But at the same time, I'm happy with the monkey. That's fine.
See, so the little charts that they have at the Chinese food places or whatever. Yeah. I know I went to one where they even said who your friends are and who your enemy is on the mat.
Yeah.
You know who the friend of the monkey and the enemy is of the monkey?
Was it the dog?
No, that's the other even team. We're one even team, We happen to be every year that there's like a presidential election is either a red.
Peanut, look up who's the enemy of the monkey in Chinese.
We're all one even team.
Chinese astrology. But anyway,
it was last year. So last year was our bad luck year.
Oh, last year was a bad luck year. Well, we'll see how this year goes. So far it's been a pretty good year.
Yeah.
So far everything's starting to. Of course,
I had a pretty easy year. Yeah.
Well, I'm again I'm kind of rooting for stuff to kind of kick off so we can. I don't like boring plot lines. So what's happening right now is just ugh. Bad.
I hear you. I thought it was going to happen day one after COVID. I kind of woke up to COVID and flat at the same time, so I see it as one and the same. Like, how is this shit still going on? I don't get it.
Yeah. It's an
One
experiment.
of the things that I hollered at a coffee talk a long time ago was, for my front license plate, I don't have to have a front license plate here in Arizona.
Yeah.
And I put a mask just on my front license plate. I
How'd that
suggest
go over?
everyone does it, you know?
Yeah.
It's totally fun whenever you see someone wearing a mask and you have a mask on your car and they make eye contact with the mask and they just are so perplexed. It just breaks their whole system. That already is broken. They're wearing a mask. So, yeah.
Yep.
That's
Well, hey, it's an honor to call in and tell you that was my favorite interview ever. Shout out to Mark Sargent and Karen B. Awesome show you guys got.
Thank you. And now because of that, now I'm gonna have to see if I can find, because that was a few years ago. I'm gonna have to find the Jesse Lee Peterson interview. The
only way I found it is just go on his channel and scroll all the way back like 4 or 5 years, whatever it is.
Yeah, and he's still doing his thing. And maybe I'll have somebody grab it for me. All right, man. Well, thank you.
I kind of follow his channel, and they do hit someone there is flat, but they're very quiet about it. I can tell.
Yeah. There's that happens. We have producers in all sorts of different shows. They quietly sneak us in. We have infiltrated everything.
So I asked the question.
There's someone there at that show. If they're listening, bring Mark back on. That was the best.
Thank you, man. Well, the thing is, you have to do it in person. They don't do remote stuff. Or they didn't back then. So we'll see. All right, man. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Yep.
Peace out.
All right. Unfortunately, 785, I'm going to have to miss you because I'm going to have to grab 845. So here we go. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. I don't have anything else, so go ahead.
New York.
There we go.
Oh, well.
I know. I couldn't.
Timing. I am still conditioned to hear you say truth smacks.
I know.
I got this pause built in.
Peanut Gallery is asking about the vagabond shoes, but it's okay. You don't have to.
Yeah, I know. Vagabond shoes.
No, I'm in touch with
Sorry.
Suzanne from Truth Smack. She's over in South Korea doing her English teaching gig, and she sent me a whole bunch of shots from it.
Right.
And it's cool. It's a cool place. You know, South Korea. It's got a unique feel to it, different from all the other Pacific Rim places. And so it's kind of cool. So anyway, I don't know when she'll come back. It's a great paying job, and she's good at it. People love her. So, and she doesn't have to do anything pandemic wise there anymore. So, more power to her.
Yeah. Oh man, it's crazy because some people go over there and make tons of money.
Yeah.
My friend's younger brother went. He was a FedEx driver, got fed up, and went over there for a couple of years and came back with a pocket full of cash.
Yeah.
He said it was retardedly easy because they don't speak English.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. He just said it was really easy to do the job.
I bet.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah. Interesting. Oh, man. I don't know. This whole fake X thing, it's so ridiculous. Like, how obvious is it now? The government's they're going to have to step in and stop it. They can't do anything else now.
Well, that way the stock price doesn't plummet immense amounts for SpaceX because it's just an oversight. It's like, no, they can still launch, but we want to make sure those pads are up to code. That's really what they're doing. They say, you're going to have to redo all these pads. And it's like, wait a minute. Those pads should have absolutely been identical to the Apollo pads. So why didn't you use those to begin with? So it's a great slowdown.
What do you have to change?
Oh yeah, I mean you saw a video of the one that was just used. That thing was destroyed. I mean, it was. I've never seen rockets do that sort of damage to the ground before. You know, the military's figured out ways to solve this.
Who got to press the button to blow it up?
Yeah, yeah, and that was the other thing. By the way, it was like. They blew up at 4 minutes, but they lost control completely at 2, which meant at about 1 minute up, which was right after takeoff. that thing
Yeah.
was already in trouble.
Totally planned.
Yeah, it's totally planned. Absolutely planned.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, Karen. Sorry I didn't say hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Somebody invite. You know what? If Elon shows up at Vegas, we'll get him passes to come in. And I don't think he'll stay.
Think he'd go?
No,
Nah.
he won't. No, he wouldn't go. But he wouldn't want to go because once our group. Well, again, it really comes down to how much our group has been drinking. Now, if it's fairly early and nobody's really gotten going yet, they'd probably be fairly polite. But if they've got 3 or 4 drinks in them, oh no, people would be walking up to him every 2 seconds.
Oh, of course. He'd be swarmed.
It'd be bad. It would be bad. So Elon, if you come for like the first session or 2, then get out while you still can.
I mean, pretty much any big A-lister, I guess, everybody's going to want to talk to him.
Yeah.
Get around him.
That's true.
I mean, that's awesome if they're willing to talk to people. Some guys are cool. Like, it'd be awesome if Keanu Reeves showed up.
I'd love it if anybody from our crew showed up. And I know it's tough to do. Like when I did that British interview, I brought up that Freddie Flintoff, one of their big cricket guys, and one of their boxers, Carl Frock, and that girl from Stranger Things, Millie Bobby Brown. They're all on with us, but they're fairly quiet about it, and a lot of people are because.
Well, it's kind of like Stefan said about a lot of them, they know, but they're doing their thing. They can't be out. I get that.
You don't have to draw attention to yourself to get things done. You don't have to do. Come on, Peter Jarvio, as great as he is, he's rare. We call him out because it's like, oh yeah, there's not a lot of people that can go on campus and do what he does. Everybody's got their own role to play.
Spend a week and debate people who some want to fucking bash him with a stick, others are willing to listen. It's like that. Yeah, that's some tough shit.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
I couldn't have that.
But I am looking forward to see. I am curious to see who comes over from because it's driving distance from Los Angeles, and I'm curious to see who will drive over from LA to not just our crew, but people that up until now they weren't sure, because Vegas you can just get away with it. You can use the excuse. It's like, oh, I was already in Vegas. I just thought I'd swing by this. It seemed interesting.
Right. I happen to be here.
Yeah, and then they whisper to us while they're there. It's like, totally with you, man. It's like, yeah, just checking out the Flat Conference.
It'll be good for people who have never been to anything, met anybody, have been alone. That I don't know.
This would be a great first time thing. So, yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, totally awesome. No, I was just thinking about the behind the curve deal.
Yeah.
When Sally mentioned the producers.
Yeah.
Oh, and shout out to William. He is correct, but I do think the heart stopping is kind of traumatic.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Definitely.
Oh man. But no, I was thinking about when we drove to the sign and we had them 2 in the back.
Yeah.
And I just fully recall that I was driving like I drive. And that was it was just so much fun.
Dude, you drive like a cop show stuntman on a regular basis.
Yeah, well, I couldn't help it. It was so much fun. I had you in the car. You had the same car. So for me, it was like, I got to do this.
Oh, yeah. No. Which is why when you're driving, I go along with it. I pretend that we are cops in a cop show. That's because it's the only way I'm going to be
partners for 20 years.
Yeah, we've been doing this.
Hate my driving, don't you? But you always make me drive. That's funny. That is a good bit.
Yeah, it is a good bit.
Oh, right, and I did want to ask,
go ahead.
How come you've never made a Empty Shells movie or a video for it?
I did an audiobook for it. I did an audiobook for it, and I there's
right.
I put a video on my channel where I read it on top of it. I did.
Right. But I'm just saying visual aids, you know, you can point out things.
What am I supposed to do?
Or I don't know.
You'd actually have to, no, seriously, you could, well, I mean, you could turn empty shelves into sort of like a zombie dystopian movie, no question. But you know what? If a producer approaches me with it, great, but it would take some money to shoot that thing. Because you'd have to have, I mean, I could turn it into a dystopian comedy, sort of like a Zombieland. But it's been done. Zombieland's been done. Zombieland really was kind of empty shelves in a way. Hopefully they stole from it. And if they did, good for you guys. Hey, we gotta wrap this thing up, man. So give me a quote. Give me what you got.
All righty. Give every day the chance to become the most beautiful of your life. Mark Twain.
Oh, that's nice. Cool. All right. Well, any shout outs? Anything like that?
Yeah, you guys.
So enthusiastic. William, yeah.
Yeah, I had to shout out William and Valley.
Oh yeah,
Awesome,
shout out to
awesome,
Valley
awesome.
Parks too, because she just lost her husband. So
Oh, that's sad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
love Valley Parks.
Condolences.
With that, we will be back next week. Same flat time, same flat channel. Say goodnight, Karen.
Night, Karen.
Say goodnight, Zulu.
Good night, Zulu.
And Peanut Gallery puffs like 8 smoke rings and puts a ship through the middle of it, Gandalf style. And with that, hey, Karen, let's roll that funky music. Oh, and hot sex, of course.
Hot sex.
Good night, everybody.
as it's ever been. chasing stars all over again. There's words for what you got, what you have, and what you'll ever need. There's love so many nights, so many nights, so many ways to believe.
Hello, Daisy. Hello,